On Michael's kitchen today, I'll be making okra curry. This is a popular South Indian vegetarian dish, which also makes a nice accompaniment as a side dish at a dinner party. I hope you enjoy. Actually start cooking, I'm just going to just explain the preparation for this curry. Although it's really simple, there's a lot of preparation to it, and the key's in getting the preparation right to cook the curry because it is dry. And right then, what I've done, I've got 12 ounces of okra which I've washed and dried, and you need to get it as dry as possible. I've chopped the heads off them and just cut them down the middle. I've blitzed up an onion and a half anyway in the blender. Just blitz that up there, and then for the spice mix, there's half a teaspoon of chilli and turmeric powder, and then about a teaspoon of garam masala. Obviously, a little bit of salt, about a teaspoon of salt, tablespoon of tomato puree, oil for frying, and what I've also done. I've used 1 ounce of ginger, obviously skinned it, 2 garlic cloves and 2 chilies, and I've just blitzed them up in the blender as well. So that's basically all of the ingredients that we're using, and we're going to be cooking this on the stove anyway, but it'll be cooked and stuff, and then it'll be simmered for about 25 minutes. But we'll start cooking it now. I've started to heat a pan of oil up on the stove now anyway, to a medium to high heat. I'll start by adding in the chilli, garlic and ginger. I'll just give that a stir, just to release some of the flavours, and then you add the onions. And give that a mix. But you don't want to burn the onions at all, because it'll give you that horrible, nasty, acrid taste. So I'll just turn it down to a, I'll just reduce the heat anyway, just to let all that mix in and simmer down for a bit. So I'm going to cook that on a very light heat now, probably for about 2 to 3 minutes. Well, the onions have been stewing now probably for about 5 minutes anyway. So what I'm going to do now is add some salt, about a teaspoon. I really should get some table salt instead of using that type of stuff. It's much easier to measure out. So give that a bit of a mix. And then add in the spices. And about a tablespoon of tomato puree, about that much. And you mix this around just very lightly for about a minute or so, just so all the spices take hold. And it should start to look like that. Well, the spices and the onions and all that stuff in here now, all that has been simmering away now for about 2 minutes on a low heat. So it's time to add the okra now, or okra, depending on how you want to pronounce it. At the beginning of this piece, well, at the beginning of the video, I went on about chopping it, going on about saying to chop it lengthways and chop the heads off and stuff. I've done that anyway, but what I recommend you do as well is just chop them again. Just cut them up a little bit smaller, because my pan isn't that big to stick all this okra in. But that's up to you, it just depends really, because you want to obviously have the whole ingredients fitting into the pan. So what I'm going to do now is just pour all the okra in. Give it a good mix around so it's coated in all the flavour of the spices and things. And now what I tend to do now, well, what you need to do, just make sure it's all, obviously all like that. Turn the heat right down to a really low simmer and cook for about 25 minutes, but stir in between every now and again anyway, just to make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pot. Well, we're halfway through the cooking process now, and it should look like this. And so I'd say probably cook for another 5 minutes, because you don't want to get that, you see, because it's starting to stick a bit. So I'd say probably in a couple of minutes that will be cooked. And here it is, the okra curry. It's quite an exotic side dish anyway, but you can use green beans anyway instead of okra if you haven't got a greengrocer that sells it. So there you go, okra curry. Thank you for watching, and I'll do some more cooking soon. Bye for now.